Good afternoon. This is the Conscious Hour. This is the reality check for Saturday. Yep. Doesn't make any difference which week it is because this way the video will stand for a long time. What is this one about? This is about looking at our world right now, our divided world. Okay? We've got Israel and the United States that have this ideology that they need to conquer all that land and take over that thing and win the war against Hamas, the artificial lie. It's the biggest land grab ever been televised. It's the biggest genocide ever been televised. But the irony is this. Let's take the United States. We're currently deporting anybody that doesn't fit into the white Christian reality. Now, they call themselves Christians. I challenge them. They aren't Christians. Because Christians would believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ and thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. But look where we are. We're deporting our workers. Just take Texas as an example. Mass migration. Not migration, forced migration. Get rid of the Hispanic people, Hindu people. Their building industry's having a problem. Look at the crop failures around the United States. The workers that did the hard work that most gringos won't do, they're gone. So what are we going to end up with? Well, according to what they try to do now is they're going to have prayer in all of the schools. They're going to have to learn the Bible? No. Some version of some reality that white is right and we're superior to others and killing is perfectly fine. Look where we are. Forget about your politics. Please take your head away from, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. Both of them are fucked. Why? Because they both support wars. Our Democrat and Republican parties support every war, every lie that we've ever told. They've been the problem. It's the military-industrial complex. They took control of our country. Kennedy was assassinated because he wanted to have peace, because he didn't want to have nuclear expansionism. They assassinated him. They've assassinated leaders around the world because of what? A small group of people in the entire world population of 8.2 billion believe they can control the world. And look at our history. We have 750 military bases around the world, but we weren't taught that in school. No, we were said there's enemies. There's enemies over here. There's enemies over here. We're fighting for freedom. What the fuck? Pardon me. What are you doing in a foreign country telling us that you're fighting for freedom and what you're really doing is going over there and stealing their resources? This is reality, folks. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I've never been into that box, ever. Because when I was a kid, I used to hear my dad, this is like in the 60s, saying, oh, those goddamn Beltway bandits are ripping us off again. They're putting more taxes on stuff. They're making life harder. Yeah. Clear back then. And then they said, oh, we're in Vietnam because the Chinese are invading Vietnam. Oh, my God. Another lie. Every war we've been into has been a lie. Ask the veterans. Ask the veterans. So I'm talking to the veterans right now. You've witnessed firsthand the bullshit and the lies and distortion and the profiteering by our military. Yeah. Afghanistan? Oh, boy, people made a lot of money out of Afghanistan. They were stealing gold. They were moving heroin out of there. And the list goes on, just like they did in Vietnam. Look, somebody says, what are you talking about? Drugs, running drugs. The U.S. government is in the drug business, folks. You know, they talk about those narco traffickers. They're the largest narco trafficker in the world. The United States government. Why? Because it funds their off-book operations. What's that? Well, Congress approves certain funding every year for the military, which is way over exaggerated. They give them way too much money. And I'll talk about the Pentagon in a second. And so there's all this other money that comes in that it's off the books. So they can have off-book operations, which means the Congress doesn't know what they're doing. Well, certain intelligence people in the Intelligence Committee know what they're doing, but everybody else, they don't get to know. Okay, so they have little boxes that they run money through. Let's talk about drugs. $1.4 to $1.9 billion of drugs runs from Colombia all the way into the United States. And everybody, gets a percentage of their pie. And they ship the shit around the world. They ship from Mexico into Honduras, from Honduras into Europe. And the cartels, the drug cartels have been around forever. Ever. In Vietnam, there was heroin. It's all been going on forever. And so now we're at this critical stage in our life where the United States is falling apart. They're getting rid of all the workers. Who's going to pick the crops? Who's going to do the manufacturing? Well, we got robots. That's fine. But what about the poverty? What about paying people a wage where they can live? Well, we can't afford that. We have to make more profits. The corporations make so much profit that they've never been able to spend it. They could never spend all their profits. Somebody says, what's this guy, crazy or something? No. If somebody's worth $700 billion, how are you going to spend your money? I mean, Ponzi scheme? Well, you can invest in this so I can make more money from Monopoly and see how much more. Maybe I could get to $1 trillion. That's my goal. I've always wanted to hit $1 trillion. Look at the collateral damage behind us. So how about a new world order? It's real simple. Here it is, folks. This is Reboot 3.0. It's not 2.0 because I don't want to have any crustacean coming from that old world mentality. I want to flush it down the fucking drain. Here it is. The New World Order is really simple. We have a debit and credit system, okay? This is proprietary. I own it. I'm the first one that brought it out, so I don't want some other profiteer to come and say, well, that's a good idea. Let's do it this way. No, nobody's going to do it. You're going to do it right because I don't want to have somebody come up and say, well, we're going to modify this and change this. Bullshit. It's real simple. Every person in the United States gets 80,000 credits starting this year. Donald Trump, listen to me. They get 80,000 credits. Everybody in America. Flat. You're 13 years old, you get 80,000 credits every year. Well, we can't afford it. Sure you can. Your money's not based on anything. Okay? You got it? It's a debit and credit system. Now, let's say you're from Ilatura or South Africa. Maybe you get 60,000 or 40,000. Maybe you're in another country, you get 100,000 credits. The beauty of it is this. Your money's not backed in anything, so everybody has a credit, which means everybody can achieve their full potential. That God-given thing, God's there to give you your potential to manifest your destiny. Now you get to have it. Everybody gets to have it. Now there's no need for war. What do you mean? Wait, we still have to go and steal their resources. This is how we do business. We have to have our tanks, our battleships, our nuclear weapons, and all this other crap. No, you don't. Because I got an idea. Let's pretend that you go ahead and do what you want to do. Netanyahu. Let's pretend that you're going to go ahead full-fledged, you're going to push the button, and then you're going to use nukes. Because you're trapped, man. You can't get out of the box you're in. They're either going to shoot you or they're going to blow you up. Because the world's had enough. It's an old world mentality, Mr. Netanyahu. It's an old world. It's dead. Now you want to blow it all up? Oh, no, in America, we want to make it a white Christian, whatever continent of white Christians who don't like Hispanics, who are racist, who don't want to have any workers around because they're colored and they might come after them and they don't go to the same church they go to. Whoa. Would Jesus come back and go, well, they're doing a good job. They're following my teachings. No, I think he'd shift into the devil and burn you all and put you in hell. My own personal opinion. I mean, you aren't following the words and teachings of Jesus. So let's do me a favor. Wake the fuck up, okay? And stop this insanity. There's a solution. We go to the credit and debit system. No poverty. No need to deport anybody. But that's the second one. Let's get to the base credit thing. Then we can have people come back in because we're going to find out that the white people don't want to do the work that the other people could do. Why? Because white people are lazy. Lazy. That's why you have Hispanic workers come in and they'll work all day long in the hot heat. The American will be, oh, God, it's too hot for me. I got to sit under the tree. Anybody got some lemonade for me or cold beer? This heat's too much for me. Get these other guys. They like that hot heat. Bring them in here. Get those people from India and Bangladesh and everything. We can just pay them shit wages and they'll work like hell. And hell's a great deal for us because we make massive profits. You got it? This is the conscious hour. We're going to a credit and debit system. Pick up the phone, take this video, shove it up any governor, regulator, congressional representative's ass, pardon me, because they're acting like asses right now when they're sitting there telling the world that they've got this white formula to make America great again. No, America was built on the people, all colors. Remember we brought those black people in? Yeah, they're slaves. Yeah, and look what they did in Oklahoma. They built a huge banking system, everything. And then the white people got, oh, they're getting more advanced than we are. They were the craftsmen, not these white folks. We bring in these other people from other nations because they've got the skills. That's why sometimes I wondered, where do these white people come from? Maybe we're aliens, predator species, coming down here to take control of the world, and we're actually mining the super minerals. We can put them in our spacecrafts and travel around the universe. That's why Elon Musk is now doing it, and maybe we're all going to turn into androids. Yeah, cyber chips in our head, and we can walk like computers, and we can fit into the machines, so we can make more credits, and we can get rich, and then we have so much credits that we can never spend them. Yeah. There's so much wealth in the world, there should never have been poverty. But because greed the machine, that's all we know. That's all we know. And you know what makes a difference in the world? Cats, dogs. You know why? Because they give unconditional love. And that's maybe what we need to do. Like now. Yeah. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. Try loving yourself. It's okay to love yourself. But do one thing. Love your neighbor. And have respect for your neighbor. You got it? Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not judge. Thanks for tuning in to the Conscious Hour. It's all Conscious Hour to create our collective consciousness and bring peace on earth. Now, not later. I'm the conductor. My name is Gregory Lee Francis Agnetti de Brewer, and I'm here to serve. And this is Blue. Blue, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Come on, open your eyes. He has blue eye and a green eye. I have a blue eye and a green eye. This was a feral cat. And he decided to move in. I think we should all move in together. Be family. Imagine that. Being friendly with everybody in the world. Not judging anybody in the world. Does that sound like something you want? Tune into the Conscious Hour. Let's get this thing out here. I need to be the conductor because there's no other conductor around that's talking like I'm talking. I'm an alien. I came from outer space. My name is Sigmund. I came from the Andromeda, and the planet I was from is Zeltoid. Look it up. Have fun. Peace and love. And Blue says, have a nice day. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Hey. Oh, he won't open his eyes. He's going to snuggle. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in.